Alright. Everyone can hear everything.
Well, well, I wouldn't say used to. Don't be dramatic.
Okay, so that has that going on there. All of that, and now back over here a ways. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to all this insanity. Why are you even here? We're here for D&D. And for once, I think we're going to feel like actually providing. So, hey. Awesome. You'd think we'd be on a lot more because of the plague, but unfortunately... what can you say? There are no zombies to fight. It's not worth recording.
I was one of them.
He was a zombie. I had to try very hard not to put him down. Good. It went against my every instinct. But hey, here we are.
So sweet of you.
I know. I'm just a delight.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. You did lock me out.
I didn't lock you nowhere.
Yeah.
Yet. That is a very good point, yet. Okay. Now, does anyone remember where we were last?
We fought a big fuck off desert monster thing. And Scotty was a mammoth.
Both accurate points.
We were on our way to Ether.
Yep. Alright, that sounds good.
Either that or get it.
Nope, we're done. This is a napping stream now.
Sounds about.
Understudies.
Okay, fine. So, yes, the trek through the desert was, for the larger part, uneventful. You know, right up until there was a big fuck-off purple worm that you had to deal with because it was dealing with some lesser creatures. The impromptu quasi-team-up ended in victory for the lot of you.
As is normal.
As is normal. So, that being said, you managed to pull a hearty sum of gemstones from the purple worm's steaming entrails and made your way towards the ever-approaching shoreline of this channel. There, off in the distance, you did manage to spot a very makeshift, an unofficial looking dock. But there parked was the familiar sight of Nicole Salva's drift. Approaching in, you are greeted by the crew, and with a squawk, the group was rushed by this ruddy brown, somewhat dog-like entity that the crew has had dealings with, we'll say, in the past.
Mm-mm.
The creature has ruddy umber skin, pitch black eyes, and did I actually have a picture? That is my question.
Call Scotty Mommy.
Not quite that. But on the small back of this creature is a traveling sack and a large bound tome as it's rushing forward with this crooked stick that looks broken in a couple of places, that has a long, gnarled, almost obsidian-looking headpiece. It's almost like maybe even a glaive or some kind of claw. As it comes rushing at you, you notice predominantly there is also a big... there's almost like a claw mark, streaks of white across its forehead as it's rushing in. This...
Ah, you made it. Hello. Hello.
Steps behind Scotty.
Gil looks just down. Not sure if he should be amused or alarmed by the creature who is now looking up at Scotty with wide eyes and a very toothy grin. Just,
Queen. It is you. Oh.
Scotty will take a step back, feeling uncomfortable.
Is it a cousin of yours, or?
you see the creature kind of dip, almost. You're not sure if it's almost servilely or respectfully at you, but it just. It looks a little haggard. Like its eyes have been sunken a little, but it seems pleased to see you.
Do we know you?
No of us, perhaps. Yes. I've seen you before. Seen you many times. The Queen. But I forget myself. You must be tired. The meats on the ship are very kind, Grutzbolt. The friends of yours?
Their meats?
The captain of the ship.
Yes, they're friends of mine, but I'd rather go back to your previous comments. What do you mean that you've seen me?
We just found you sent word to you.
You did.
Oh. Yes, this one's done well, yes?
I don't quite understand all of this, but perhaps on the ship we can continue to go over it.
Ah, yes. Must be off. Time has come. Yes.
Yes, you see he kind of cradles the stick, and as he starts to wander back towards the ship, and just... Alright, I still don't know how to feel about this one.
You make very interesting friends.
Scotty will look between Gil and Roro concerned. I don't even understand.
No idea.
Do we have to deal with this?
I mean, one way or the other, right?
As long as it gets us out of the desert, I think yes.
I'll second that.
Yeah, well... I'm not waiting any longer. Gil takes a stretch and starts hot-footing it back to the boat, easily passing the kobold, who is just kind of wandering there. He's got his stick in hand and just kind of... See, he's not entirely straight with his walk. And it seems to have a little bit to do with the fact that he's walking on shifting sand, but you notice that he has a bit of a limp on him. But otherwise, you're free to proceed.
Can we tell if he has like any cuts along his leg or anything prominent like that that would cause a limp?
You can... You know what? We'll go and say... Check your perception.
So
you don't immediately notice anything wrong.
okay.
But as you approach the ship, you see at this point Nicole is kind of sitting, legs draped over the railing there, just watching you come in. He spends a moment greeting Gil as the ramp had been put down onto the dock. It's about the only two people you can see up on deck at current.
Was who? I'm sorry.
Basically, up on deck, the two people other than Gil, who's now on there, you can see are Nicole and the kobold.
Okay. Thank you.
Scotty will just, almost in a daze, join those on deck. Kind of giving
As
a
will I.
wide berth to the kobold.
Who is at this point standing at who's pretty much standing silently at the main mast, just kind of watching.
Maybe you should talk to him. He seems nice.
I don't know if I would say he seems nice. Why should I go talk to him?
I mean, kobolds are like a type of dragon, aren't they not?
Scotty will give an annoyed look. You don't seem to hang around dragons, do you?
I mean, if we had the option, maybe you could. It would be like a reunion.
A reunion, because they're my family, right?
I'm sure some of them are.
Gil casually moves moves a little further away.
I'd rather talk to Nicole or Tello about where this one was found at, and why he's even here.
We'll go with that first then.
So, a couple moments later, Nicole just... Well, so we are going... I imagine we are just going to make our way off then, yes?
I mean, I would prefer that, but I still glance to Morgrim and Roro.
The quicker we get away from these shifting sands, the happier I'll be. And don't we all want to make me happier?
Morgrim has no input on this conversation. He's just moving around doing new boat stuff. Checking on, I don't know, boat things.
Checking on boat things. Let's see. Boat things.
Checking the lines and such. I don't know. I'm not a boat person. As much as the crew's not gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, if you want me to say that, I will.
First of all, fuck you, Doge. Second of all, you've got proficiency with water vehicles, yes?
Yep.
Go ahead and give me a check on it.
What would you like me to use for stat?
It's... Go ahead and give me, we'll say, wisdom base.
Can do that.
Well, the rigging and the lines all seem to be in good order. Clearly, this is not a scrub ship. The people here know what they're doing, and you've made... I'm just going to roll this into a general boat history check. The make of the boat is from your knowledge and whatnot. The boat is from the Iskandrin region.
Okay.
However, you've noticed as you're looking at things casually going on, there's been a lot of cosmetic alterations. By the appearance of at least the man who's calling himself the captain, as well as the engravings here, you definitely get the impression that this is a Haldirai owned boat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those cultural things have been etched into the woodwork for the display, and like some of the. It's also displayed in some of the rigging, because they have their own way of sailing and making their ships and how they maintain it. So it's clear to you that this was retrofitted for purpose.
Okay.
The individuals... you do see some crew come around, and it looks like they're... Well, none of them have that Haldirai look to them. It seems like they might have been picked up somewhere on continent.
Mm-hmm.
Probably offhand, you will see a couple of other people who don't fit in with that sort of crowd. You do see an elven woman up at the front of the ship who came wandering from below deck. Looks relatively similar to Roro as far as the makeup of the face, the skin tone, and whatnot. Except her
Oh,
hair is,
maybe it's his sister.
you know, for all you know. You do see one other Halderai man, deep in hair. Has a well-kept beard, nowhere near your length, of course, but
Respect.
a sturdy-looking man. To everyone else, you know, as you're kind of getting as the call for breaking dock is made, you will see both. You know, the crew from below hand. It looks like sailors that were picked up in Alcarin. And you do see Tallow and Syl come up above deck and start preparing things for movement. And if I... And the ship breaks away from the shoreline. It takes you a moment, but the boat settles into its steady sway back and forth along the channel. And for some, it's welcome. For others, who knows? But despite your weeks, or your week or so, off of this, you find your sea legs readily enough within the hour.
Morgrim is breathing deep of the nice sea air.
Oh, yeah. Morgrim is quite a bit at home, I would imagine.
Scotty wants to find Tallow.
It's easy enough to find him. He'll probably be up at... You'll probably find him at the masts or whatever, just, you know, tying off the ropes to get the boat set into their course. Well, it looks like you made it. The sands didn't dry you out too bad, I hope.
It wasn't terrible. I wanted to thank you for accepting my message earlier. Wasn't sure how that was going to go the first time.
Well, it's something new, I'll admit, but it's good to know that you can keep in touch.
It's helpful. I assume that the kobold is that stowaway you mentioned.
That he is. We found him half drowned on a scrap of metal. Couple of scraps.
And odd for him to be out in the middle of the ocean.
I'll have to admit, but he seemed to be able to describe you, and, well, he seemed adamant on making himself useful. He's done a fair bit. Quirky one, though.
Quirky.
Sometimes he has a shifty look about him, but hasn't done us wrong yet.
Did he say where he's from?
I'm not sure if he said if he actually said, but I think he might have mentioned something about, you know, for the life of me, I can't remember the name. But I think he did remember it. He didn't open up to me as much.
I suppose I have concerns. He seems to, he seems to...
Be staring at you right now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's making that weird noise again.
I don't understand. He keeps calling me queen.
I don't get it either, but that's how he's been referring to you. And you hear that light keening from a little behind you.
I wish that I could remember my past. Perhaps that would help with this, but I suppose things will unfold whether I want them to or not.
Well, we're keeping a close eye on him.
How are you and Syl?
We're getting on all right. I'm not entirely sure that she's liking the heat or not. I mean, she looks good with the shorter hair, but I can't help but miss the longer locks, but...
Scotty will kind of blush and almost subconsciously run her hand through her hair. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing alright. I was very worried about all of us splitting, going our own ways.
Ah, come on, I don't get into that much trouble.
Probably less trouble than Gil does.
Well, when you run ahead like you do, but...
Scotty kind of goes pensively silent, her eyes trailing back to the kobold, her thoughts going over that again. Grimaces goes to find Gil.
As you wander off, you feel that stare follow you. Roro, anything you're up to?
First I was gonna ask whose hair got shorter.
Syl's.
Still, okay. I didn't hear the name, and then Scotty made the comment that she strung her hands through her hair. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Syl's hair used to dip about, to her hips, but now it's cut quite a bit shorter, reaching maybe to her shoulders, and kind of flipped
Okay.
over to the side.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I was following that correctly. Roro had taken just a tour around the boat to just look at everything. He went down to the, where they keep stocks and everything. One of the last few times he was on the boat, he was almost killed. So come on.
Yeah. I mean, there seems to be a small crew here, but they're going about their duties.
Yeah, Roro's just going to ignore them, but intensively stare at each of them as he walks by.
All right, so
like, I'm on to you.
Highly suspicious. All of the suspicious.
Exactly. And once he goes back up to the deck, is he going to be able to find Nicole alone?
For the most part, he's up at the wheel currently. I mean, there's Gil about, but it seems like he's not exactly engaging with him, but he's like towards the back.
Okay, then Roro's going to approach Nicole.
Okay.
Well, it isn't everyone's favorite captain.
I don't know about favorite captain, but I'm certainly my favorite captain.
Given you're the only captain I know, so you're my favorite captain.
I would hope then that I wouldn't be the least. Well, I guess that would make me the least as well.
That would be awkward. Huh. Anyways, I'm just kind of curious on what your schedule is right now.
Schedule is to get to the port.
Yes, silly. You're funny. I meant like, do you plan on having anybody take over captaining the ship at any time soon?
Are you trying to push me out of a job, Aurora?
If you're willing to teach me, maybe.
Um, I mean, unless we procure you a different boat, mine's not for sale or for scavenge.
So you won't teach me how to sail a boat anyways?
I might be willing to help teach you how to sail. Yeah,
Well, that would be fun.
I suppose we could do that.
Then let's plan for that, but let me know when you have a few moments just to be alone. I do need to talk to you about something.
Well, no time like the present then. Hey, Gil, get your lazy ass at the wheel. You've been slacking off lately. I just got here, you asshole. Yeah, now get to work. Fine.
Roro will stand
He
pensive.
grumbles a little bit with a grin, but takes the wheel and he'll kind of motion down for you to go below deck into kind of like the navigational room. That's just below deck.
You broke up on that part.
He'll take you down to just down the stairs. Basically to the navigation room right outside of Gil's. Where there's a large board with weights on it that has like some some star charts and basically just where they have all their navigational equipment. And it's a small impromptu conference room. So, what is it that you needed?
Well, I just thought you'd be someone that I can come to. Been on a little bit of a side venture without telling anybody else that I'm starting to feel a little bit unsure about.
Well, anything that you can't share with your fellows is... Anyway, what was it?
Well, I was thinking about sharing it with them, but I don't really know. Oh, well, I was approached by a dark, slightly handsome figure, from what I could see. I don't really know. And he's just offering a source of power, if you will, if I help him, of course.
And you didn't approach him for such a thing?
Didn't what?
You didn't approach him for such a thing?
Well, he came to me.
Well, I would say that is fairly suspicious.
I kind of thought so too, but we seem to have likely goals in mind.
Oh, like what? Well, what did he want with you?
Oh God, it's been so long, Quinn. I'm trying to remember at least a general basis of it. Well, he wants to help me take back what's been taken from me, which is my land and my region that my father has given away to my stepbrother.
I remember you telling me something about that.
Yeah, that guy. Kinda hate him. Well, he wants to help me regain the power back to the area and become the ruler myself.
That's pretty impressive. I can't. Uh, what does he want in return?
Just simply to be an aid for him. Help him with his power, and he helps me with mine.
Yeah, that's, got to say, a little suspicious. He wants you to help him gain power.
While subconsciously giving, I suppose. It's clearly a lot better than the current situation of political power.
Well, I'm not entirely certain of. So he wants power elsewhere, and he wants to help you take back the seat that was given to your stepbrother.
Aloof. Ugh.
Oh, that's quite a name, isn't it?
It's a horrible name, isn't it? It kind of puts that dirt on your tongue and makes you want to just like go lick something really dirty to get it off.
That's quite the visual there.
I don't know. I was just kind of feeling things out, trying to peek more into his offer, if you will. I just wasn't sure how the other two would react.
Well, I would
I was gonna.
imagine it would be with a little bit of suspicion. He's not told you how he's going to do what he's going to do to help you, or what he really expects of you in return, yes?
Well, I suppose that's to come. So you don't think I should tell them and just cut things off?
I don't know. I think we might be a little hard pressed to make a lot of judgments. I mean, to be fair, we were trying to help Dehati to overthrow the regime down there as well. I just know that he's wanting help, and well, what we were doing was ensuring our own freedoms.
In a way, it's along the same lines of alignment. We want the same person out of power. Sort of.
Sort of.
Well, I'm not sure how the rest of the people on the ship feel if I were to be the one in power instead. Do you think things would be better?
Well, you seem like an all-right person, Roro, but I don't know anything of your governance. I know you keep stock pretty well.
You know I can what?
I know you keep the stock pretty well.
Huh.
I mean, I've had no problem with your numbers. We hadn't run out of food yet, so.
I mean, I'm trying to be a little bit more modest, but I did get some schooling that might have helped with that.
Of course, you're one of the noble ones.
I would think of myself as was a noble one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, he could be whoever this guy is who's offering your seat back. He must think highly of his chances.
I'm sorry, I think I missed the word in there. That I think highly of his chances, or he thinks highly of my chances?
He must think highly of his chances.
Of his chances. Okay.
I
Well,
mean, not many people would get away with saying that they can just give you the seat of power that you've been looking for, especially with not exactly saying how he's going to do it or what he wants from you.
I think that's still to come because I've only more so recently met him, and I'm still trying to fulfill one small quest he has me doing.
So he has asked something of you.
Just a stone.
A stone. What kind of a stone?
An amber. Do you know of any around here?
I mean, not specifically, but amber isn't exactly very precious.
Yeah, I found it kind of weird too. I think it's just a simple test. I don't really know what to think about it just yet.
So you just have to find a piece of amber for him?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that if there's a jeweler in the city we're going to, it should be a pretty easy task to do.
Well, I bought a piece of amber in the last city we were in, and he didn't seem to really enjoy that.
Well, that is curious.
I know. But I just wanted to run it past somebody. If you don't mind keeping this between us.
I mean, unless it seems like it's going to, concern the others, all right. But if it gets in too deep, I might have to bring them in. If something dangerous is going to come of this, we're going to be able to face it a lot better if we can just be on the same page.
How noble of you, Nicole.
It's how you run a ship, Roro. If you're going to learn the captain, you're going to learn this lesson.
He'll give you a salute kind of hand movement. Of course. I'm thinking I might let them in on this after I find out just a little bit more of what I'm dealing with.
My advice would be sooner rather than later. You never know what information they may have, or what trouble you may avoid down the road.
He'll look thoughtful for a moment. Oh, yeah. I guess you've given me much to think about. That wasn't the deal, Nicole.
I don't recall anything needing a deal.
That's true. But why don't we go back to the previous deal and you teach me how to sail this beast?
Well, we might start a little. Maybe not today, but once there's something more specific to do about running a boat, or at least captaining one, I'll let you know as we go along.
I will hold you on that.
Because right now it's mostly just navigation. If you want to learn that, well, Gilfan's probably the one to talk to for that. I mean, I'm not bad myself, but I'm sure he would have something to say if I was teaching that without him.
Roro will shrug. I guess I'll just go and check in anywhere else, see if anyone needs just an extra hand.
Always appreciate it.
He'll give another salute. do we like say dismissed or something? Is that Captain Lee?
Just get out of here, Roro.
Oh, okay. He'll walk off.
So, Morgrim, what are you up to?
I don't know. Boat stuff.
Boat stuff.
Probably talk to whoever be running the show and see where he could be useful.
Nicole is so popular today.
Yes, I mean, the person who was introduced as Nicol Salva, he's... You can see him wandering on the ship. I mean, not a hard figure to miss. Blonde hair, wearing a green kind of a overcoat.
Mm-hmm.
Got a forked spear slung over his back.
Right. Well, excuse me.
Yes, I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. You are?
Name's Morgrim.
Yeah, Morgrim, it's
Met
a
up-
pleasure.
Met up with your friends a few towns back.
And you're still here. That's, So, what brings you this far up, Morgan?
Well, for the time being, anyways, our goals seem to be heading in the same direction, so we've been working together. But the really important bit is I'm a bit of a sailor myself. Life on the sea, so where might I be useful?
Well, his expression kind of brightens up a bit hearing that. It's just, well, we're always appreciative of experienced sea hands. What did you do on your other boats?
Well, mostly I was a bit of a quartermaster, but I did do some things around the ship when they needed it. I can do pretty much whatever.
Well, that's good. Talos, our quartermaster here, but I'm sure you can jump in and help some of these old hands. These Alcran folk, they're not bad, but... Well, some of them don't seem to have much the ethic. But one thing I've always known is you're hard-pressed to get a dwarf out on the ocean, but when you find one there... it is a blessing of the gods themselves. Let's see here. Yeah, holy crap. Okay, cool. I can tell by the crest on your shield there. You are definitely one of the sea dwarves.
Yep.
And he'll give a very approving nod to that, and you do notice that on a green band around his neck has a kind of a sapphire engraved in the shape that you can recognize, the same as Gil had on the chain around his neck.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that you are at least in the company of interesting but trustworthy folk as they take on to your god's companion.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Well, I'm going to say just jump in wherever you feel you can give a hand, and I'm sure you know when to not make the waves and when to throw your weight around.
Alright, I'll find something to do then.
Glad to have you aboard, Morgan.
And pleasure to meet you. And he'll just find something that needs some helping and do.
It's easy enough to find a place to be, and much to what Nicole had said, they're not bad sailors, but they certainly don't have the dwarven ethic. You kind of have to get on them or take over in certain aspects, but they're definitely a crew that's paid for a job rather than a crew that truly has that passion for the sea.
Right.
Does anybody else have anything else that they would like to do as the day starts turning to starts dimming into nightfall?
Roro will still casually check in. Wondering when they get off navigation is when he'll jump in.
Well, as night starts kind of progressing, you'll find Gil at the wheel, basically taking in navigations. You see on a small podium next to the wheel, navigational tools, some charts to work by. And I believe Scotty was off to find Gil, correct?
Yeah, Scotty had gone off to find Gil. She'd probably hang around him and be as much help as she can, seeing as she enjoyed that kind of work before.
Okay. Anything in specific you want, or just getting back into the rhythm?
Yeah, just getting back into it. Just low-key very much enjoying the familiarity of it.
Okay. So yeah, probably about this time you'll see Scotty there along with Gil.
Where's the kobold?
The kobold is I didn't put him anywhere, did I? The kobold is on the top, towards the, on like kind of the top, looking over the mast, is still very intently looking down at Scotty. There we go. We have the kobold. Because I can. This token is tasty meat kobold. Because it can. But yeah, he just seems to be watching Scotty kind of intently. Occasionally you hear keening noises coming from him. So saying, eventually you'll be at the point where you would want to be turning in. To which, kind of over the last half hour, the kobold had been kind of slowly inching its way towards you, Scotty. Kind of making its presence a little more known.
Scotty will take in a deep breath and finally just square her shoulders as if preparing for something unpleasant and go to see what he wants.
Yes. Yes. Heard about, seen your work. We have.
Seen my work.
Yes. In dark caves. In closed ship. Still smells smoke. He's deep in woods. Smells of cooked meat. But we have for you. I have for you. Heard of what happened to you? Yes. Have a gift for the queen.
Why would you want to give me anything? And how? You're talking about my fire spells. How?
The white flame.
White flame? What?
Skin of snow, breath of fire.
How did you know I set the boat on fire?
Can smell.
Who doesn't?
Burrow's been talking again, hasn't he?
What did you say?
I said Roro's been talking again, hasn't he?
Have not spoken. Have not said.
You've come all this way. From where?
I come from forgotten oceans. Lost city. Set free Cobalantis. The queen set us free.
If you're talking about that unmarked island,
Cobalantis.
all right, whatever you want to call it, I was only there to rescue my friends.
Says you. It's will that you shot yourself, but broke free because of Queen. You set us free.
And with your freedom, you have decided to bring me a gift.
Yes, gift for Queen. Yes, come.
As he starts scampering down the stairs. Scamperings down the stairs.
Gil, or Scotty will shoot Gil a look.
Well, that's freaky. Just yell and I'll come and shish kebab him.
Thanks for your support.
Just not below deck. Just not below deck.
He's the kobold has disappeared below deck.
With an impatient sigh at Gil, she'll
Hey, I have to stay up here and
kind of wave a hand, dismissing his argument as she heads to wherever the kobold had went.
the kobold takes a familiar path, and it would and is because he was just beyond the door. It's kind of as he was waiting for you, as you show, he kind of and scampers down the stairs some more. And he leads you into a path that you treaded a few times, but no longer. It would seem that the kobold has taken up residence in your old room.
Perfect, I'm still out of room.
And he ushers you inside as he goes. Following him, you see that there are pieces of paper tacked up all across the interior of this room. A small cot has been set up that looks almost like a half disheveled nest. But what draws your eyes past that is the pages and pages of what looked to be like madman scrawling. The text looks like they're draconic characters, but just by a quick glance around, it doesn't look like they have any discernible like sentence structure, and a lot of it is just gibberish. You know what? Actually, give me an intelligence check, and you can add your proficiency.
A con save? Oh.
No, it's not a con save.
That would be funny, though.
About will, it's a will save for madness.
With my added proficiency, that would be 15.
15? Yeah, okay. You do manage to catch a couple of passages, but you have no idea, like, the context of them. Scrawled a couple of times is something like great hunger, he who feasts. Several. You find a couple of pages that just have the words tasting meat just imprinted line after line in repetition. Scrawlings of great gnawing fangs. A couple of pages that have gears and what looks to be maybe even a diagram of some contraption. Almost like a giant metal tube with seats on the inside. It's...
Are they feeding you?
Oh, yes. Feed got... Yeah, yes. Yes. Good tasty meats. Tasty... Still,
I have a question. I have a big concern.
You have a concern?
Yes. Is Scotty standing near the door?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure she has an exit if needed.
In any questionable circumstances, first locate your nearest exit. Yes, you are standing in the doorway, and it's just...
Okay.
It seems that there's almost a shadow that kind of passes over the kobold's eyes and just... What is that for? Yeah, okay, you can... How dare. But, you'll see he snaps him, so it's like, yes, the gift. He goes, like, diving into the nest that's on this cot. As he scrambles around, and he kind of bursts forward, almost as if he was erupting from almost the anthill that this grouping of old rags was from. He's carrying a book that is much too big for him. He's like,
the gift for Queen. Yes.
Scotty will hesitate a moment, just shocked with all of that, but slowly step forward to take the book.
It's probably a good 3 feet that you have to enter this room.
She'll do so.
He looks very excited. His hands are kind of trembling.
Yes, his gift for the Queen.
Thank you. She'll take the book, hesitant.
You gotta take it. And as soon as it's done, the hands move back very, very quickly, almost like startling. He's just... He's kind of like petting his hand and looking almost nervously, expectantly. Just.
I don't think Scotty's ever been more uncomfortable in her entire life.
I beg to differ.
No, I think I almost believe her at this.
She's been around Roro.
Even more.
So she'll take her attention hesitantly away from the crazed kobold to take a look at this book.
The book is a plain but sturdy leather. Go ahead and give me a quick Arcana check. Okay. Just kind of looking over the book before, daring perhaps to open it. But it seems to be this book seems to be treated. You're not entirely sure how to feel about it, but it seems to, first and foremost, the covering of it seems to be fire retardant. And just the look of the pages on it, they almost seemed, just along the edges of it, seem to have some kind of laminated, almost substance. But it seems like, laminated or waxed or of some measure. But it seems like this book in and of itself is made to be resistant to the elements.
Scotty will, seeing that it's fire resistant, will begin to turn purple. This seems like quite the fancy book here.
Yes. Made for the queen. Yes.
Yeah, specifically for fire spells, huh?
How am I missing all of Quinn's facial expressions right now?
Because you're not on Twitch? I don't know.
I'm trying to.
Fire, water. Is mostly safe. Mostly safe.
Well, I appreciate the gift, and I'll try not to set this one on fire.
You just gotta.
Following his gesture, she'll open it.
You will open it, and the first page seems to have a bit of that maddening scrawl on it. But it's just a bunch of characters in Draconic kind of overlapping one another, and it almost kind of like hurts your head to try and, because instinctively your analytical mind kind of wants to immediately kind of pick out the letters and try and make sense and order of it, but at the moment it's just you just kind of like flip past that, and a little further into the book you see more scrawling of an arcane nature and very familiar formulas, diagrams. You note that it is your own writing. Slightly off, but it's in your... You can pinpoint out that it is mostly your... It seems to be as much of a reproduction as someone meticulously writing down things in the manner you would.
Well, that's odd. Scotty's starting to just feel panicked at the moment.
you start recognizing the patterns and the diagrams. This seems to be as faithful a recreation as you can imagine of your old spell book. And again, you're that moment of like, wait, and you hear this.
Scotty is gonna just be absolutely purple. Her face, her neck, her chest, just everything blush.
You see, he's started to, not only is he petting his hand, he just seems to be kind of rocking back and forth. You don't know if it's in excitement, worry, anticipation, maybe some or all of these things. He's just...
This is incredible. You did this?
This is for the queen. Yes. Queen like.
I'm very happy for this. Thank you.
See, he bobs just a little closer.
I'm not quite sure what he's getting at, but kind of reading his expression, she'll hesitantly reach out and pat him on the top of the head.
You see him kind of pop up, kind of do a little spin, and then just run out the door. The keening just going off as he fades, a door closes behind him.
Can I just say that Roro was walking down the hall during that one moment and just watches this little gold run past him like this?
Yeah, you were probably doing some kind of round or whatever, and you hear this as you see this kobold go running down the hall, almost skip hopping up the stairs.
Roro will push himself against the wall, panicked, watching him run past.
You know what? Seeing as your dex, go ahead and give me a. We'll say an acrobatics check. Yeah, okay. You react quickly enough to just to this thing just bounding down the hallway. It seemed like it came probably from where the bedrooms are at.
He will not casually, but kind of like
not casually
step over and peek around to see what was in the room, to see Scotty.
You see a very flustered-looking Scotty holding a book in a room full of maddening scribbles and a half, and basically a mound of blankets and whatnot on a large cot.
Wow. How long have we already been on this boat? You've certainly made yourself at home, Scotty.
This is not mine.
Oh, Mr. Kobold, sir, thing.
Yes, he seems to have taken residency in my room.
You must like the fire smell. Anyways, why was he like totally freaking out?
I think I'm not really sure. I may have hurt him.
If you upset him, you need to apologize.
I just patted him on the head.
With your claws?
No, Roro.
Kobold
Okay.
good boy pats.
Give me an example of what you did. Here. And he will kind of just like casually bend over enough for her to reach his head.
Roro.
Give me exactly what you did. Give me exactly what you did.
Me and I will hurt you.
Are you gonna set the room on fire again?
Irid, irritated, Scotty will make a noise of frustration and just shove past Roro.
Can I roll to see if she's able to do that?
I mean, are you blocking her path?
No.
I mean, you can impose yourself and try and keep her from going past you.
Yeah, because I don't know any experience of that ever happening.
Hey, I'm just letting you know the opportunity is there if you want to take it.
He'll kind of roll out of the way to dodge her a little bit.
Yeah, you're able to get out of her way.
I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just asking questions. I really have not missed this boat.
Scotty will attempt to simmer down, but she wants to get back to where Gil is, seeing as she was attempting to help him with things as much as he'd allow.
You can get up to Gil, who is at this point just looking across the deck, like with this what the absolute hell kind of look. As you see across, like at the bow of the ship, the kobold just kind of hopping around, creating its fuss. And it's drawn the attention of a lot of people. Just. They seem like weirded out, and you see a couple of the crew just kind of like hands casually like on their blades, just like not knowing if this thing is freaking out or gonna cause trouble or anything.
Scotty will gain a new shade of purple, but continue on her way.
And yes, Morgrim, you were up on deck when this furiously energetic kobold just came up and just started causing all kinds of ruckus. You hear some shouts and yips about the queen likes.
Can I make my way up to Doc?
Just kind of shrug and go about my business, because I don't know about no damn kobolds.
Someone's a little crazed.
Rubber will stand next to Morgrim, or near Morgrim.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh. That was it. Oh.
Just Gil looking at you is like, all right. Does that mean things went well or not? Because what? Just what?
I think he got the pat.
Holding the book kind of like with arms across chest, just kind of holding it securely there, she'll look up at Gil, shifting her hair about. I think it went well. I don't understand his reaction.
Yeah, I don't think anybody understands what the hell that was about.
He seems to have made a home in the room I had been in.
Well, I mean, I guess it had to stay somewhere, right?
Yeah, I think somehow he was recreating my old spellbook.
How the hell does that even work?
I don't know, I thought it was lost in the fire.
Well, was it? Doesn't look like yours.
It doesn't, it's not, it's different. She'll kind of hold it out for him to inspect.
He doesn't even bother taking a look at the contents of it because he knows better. Looking at it's probably only just going to hurt his head, but he's like, okay, well, looks like it's going to be fine if you spill something on it.
She'll look antagonized. It seems that he felt the need to make it fireproof.
It's pretty handy.
That seems smart to me, huh?
You'll give a nod out to Roro, kind of an agreement.
I still don't understand. He keeps calling me queen. I don't understand why he'd go through this trouble. And he said that they had been freed on the island, but all I remember is getting through that cave just so that we could save Tallow.
Yeah, I mean, that whole island was kind of trippy, but it wasn't bad.
She'll give him a look.
I mean, hell, we made it through. And, acidic ooze monster aside, I think we did pretty well. Even then, that wasn't all that bad. He kind of gives you a grin.
She'll duck behind her hair, turning away from him, hiding her embarrassment.
Well, we're kobold aside. Do you want my help or not?
Yeah. Let's get you familiar with this thing again.
Roro will lean more towards Markram. I was kind of hoping for claws.
Well, what?
I was kind of hoping for more claws.
Okay.
Spice up the evening. Come on, Morga. Pay attention.
Right.
Maybe Silson has more to say than...
Maybe she does. Maybe.
This time of night, I think she has a lot of things to say, just not to Roro.
I will neither confirm nor deny that.
Who does she have things to say to? What?
Nothing.
Okay.
This is why the kids don't go to mommy and daddy's room at night.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. And I am not a child, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Tallow wants to make me his child. I'm gonna stop.
Tallow might be a little indisposed at the moment.
I'm just gonna go back over here now.
Yeah. So the night passes, with anybody, unless anybody has anything else they would like to accomplish, the next day kind of starts rolling in.
I got nothing to do with sleeping at some point.
Oh yeah, you're given a quarter to lay down in.
Awesome.
Where will I, Nicole, waiting for his opportunity?
And you get one coming in towards noon. As the horizon kind of starts closing in at the far edge, you see a shoreline as you move from the much wider channel into more enclosed area where you can see on either side some greenery starting to take off into light forestry, and beyond that, on your to the northern edge, you see the very tips of what is distant mountains. And that's more in the morning, and coasting up towards noon, you see the land start closing inward as the channel becomes smaller and more like a large river. The towering peaks of mountains on one side gives way to what looks to be endless forest up, just behind a small coastline that grows more rocky around the edges as it meets the waves. And approaching on basically it's kind of off to the right of the ship, a large incline of what looks to be a city, and towering above it, or on its top layers, a pair of massive trees, and a cliff far overhead with water kind of pouring down into this top spire, and a cove that you're starting to pull yourselves into. You see small fishing boats now starting to scatter as you're scatter around doing net fishing and the like. The make of which is not known to you. The design is foreign even to you, Morgrim. You've never seen boats with these kind of markings, though they do have a more, I guess for better, they look more like Anglo fishing boats, but
Okay.
more shallow and wider. Looks like they were made to operate in shallower waters. Soon the drift is approached by a smaller vessel who kind of requests the information from you, to which Nicole kind of gives the markings of the ship, that you are the drift, that you've come here to what were we here for again, Scotty?
Flushing again, being put on the spot. Uncomfortable with it.
Morgan had a thing to take care of. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. He's trying to reach out to bereaved sailor families.
Yeah, we're here too. We've been transporting people up from Symaxis, dropping off people, supplies. Might be staying in port for a day or two if you'll have us. The man who is basically kind of standing side of your ship, just the drift. Yes, of course. We've been expecting you. And he will basically give Nicole the basically instructions, a dock number to head his way towards. And Roro, you're paying attention as how he basically orders in the crew, we'll say. Go ahead and give me just a straight up intelligence check.
Oh, fuck. That's my worst one.
There's a lot going on, and you are kind of lost with it. You catch little bits here and there, but it's a lot to be taking in. And with that, you are pulled in into this large cove that seems to be stretching underneath this great outcropping that is the city. Great, just very large pillars come up from the water in this impromptu bay up to look like they're supporting this mass of stone on a couple of edges. But you are pulled into the docks, where this this man who's obviously a drow, wearing kind of a blackened vest with barely perceptible tattoos across his arm, and wearing a pair of goggles, is waiting for you at the dock. Just as you kind of disembark, and he takes in your information. Just, well, it's glad to finally see the spot that we've had reserved here. Well, welcome to Ether. You've been given access for as long as you need here. So, well, welcome. I'm sure you have business that you have to attend to. So, welcome, and don't worry, your ship will be well taken care of while you're here.
Right, but I need to find the roost.
Oh, yes, I'll show you to the, I'll show you to the way up out of the Undercroft. And I'll be able to point you in the right direction at that point. If you'll follow me.
He'll nod and follow along.
I'm guessing as everyone else will do.
Suppose so, yes.
Yeah. I'll kind of stay on the side, just taking in the city.
Well, from what it seems at the immediate pressure here is you're looking in on a section that has been kind of carved out of a great cliff face. This area goes back in quite a ways, and it seems to have two tiers to it. Almost like a ways a good 100 or so feet up. It looks like there is a secondary tier that lines the top of this with more buildings and whatnot. Before you head off, there's tallow up on the deck. Just, all right, well, we're going to have to get ourselves tied off here. Is there a place that we're going to be able to meet you, or are you coming back here when you have... What is the plan?
I feel that we would come back, right, Phil?
I mean, I have no idea. I guess, hell, at this point, you can tell them where we can meet up, right?
What do you mean?
Well, we can do whatever business you've got, and you can tell them where we're going to be.
She'll flush and her hands will fist.
Yes, I can keep in contact with them.
No, then I don't... If you can tell them where we're going to be, I don't see any reason why not to just kind of take in where we're at and see what the hell's going on.
We'll do that then.
Cool. I mean, I'm sticking with you, but... So, yeah, Tallow, just kind of, I don't know, stay in pairs or something.
Yeah.
So that she doesn't have to tire herself out trying to find all you guys. Yes, I'm sure we'll make do somehow. But don't worry about it. We'll fix everything up here so that we're ready to go.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Thanks, Tallow. Son of a beach.
Guess.
So you follow this drow individual who now at this point kind of reaches before heading off, he kind of reaches off to the side and picks up a small pack and this brilliant looking scythe that seems to be made out of like a metal that Morgrim can easily identify as adamantium. And towards
pretty.
yes, it seems to be etched and has runes kind of carved up the side of it, with the head of which seems to be a bust of a very sturdy and beautiful angelic figure that seems to be bound kind of at the arms with this rune ribbon, and the actual blade of the scythe seems to be his outstretched wings. And it's easy for anyone who is at all inclined for in arcane pursuits, which is pretty much all of you are supernaturally bent in some fashion or another. There is a subtle thrum coming from this thing as he picks it up and kind of slings it over his back. Okay, well, I'll take you up to the top. As you make your way, you pass through the docks. Come on, put a party token on there, you asshole. Why do you not ever do this? Okay. So you pass through...
And we stomp on the city. Crunch,
Yeah.
crunch, 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 crunch.
Yeah. You stomp around, but you're led past a park, and once you reach the back of this section, he leads you to one of the two pillars, which seems to have a large opening in there, an archway, which he leads you into, which has you can see like a spiral staircase along the edge, moving upwards. But he takes you to what looks to be a series of pulley-style elevators, which he gets you onto, and you start ascending upwards a couple of 100 feet into the air. As you see basically you end up into in this long shaft, moving upwards. To which you end up finding yourselves up onto this top tier.
Yeah, ether.
Mm-hmm. Once you reach here, you can feel the breeze that kind of comes through here after exiting this elevator. You're definitely quite a ways up, and there's a slight moisture in the air, more than what you've seen. It's almost like a very thin mist kind of holds in this area, which you can see from the top of looking upwards. Your eye line is dominated by these two insanely large trees, and a little further up is this outcropping that casts its shadow on this top tier, and off the sides of it, 2 streams of water that in the breeze kind of swirl that mist around. As the individual in question kind of takes you out towards this central park area with what looks to be official buildings. You see a barracks, kind of a training yard. And the drow will turn to you. Right, sir. The roost is going to be up over here. That's where we train our more specialized individuals, we'll say. Was there something else that I could direct you towards?
I mean, that's all I needed. My friends here are checking anything out while we're in town.
Where's your more entertainment core?
Down here.
I'm sorry, what was it that you asked?
Entertainment corridor.
Also over here. That's kind of cool, too.
That is pretty cool.
Can you ping it for me?
Well, what he was saying, he was pinging right over here.
Entertainment. This is pretty cool. Center of town where there's like bars and stuff. A cool shopping center.
Depending on what type of entertainment you're looking for, I could direct you to a couple of different areas, but if you're looking for just amusement, we do have the Isle of Mana, which is if you go back down there, if you go back down to the Undercroft, there are ferries that will take you there.
Used to be able to buy them.
There's quite a lot to entertain your days away. If you're looking for food or shopping, the central square has got quite a bit of that.
Well, I'm kind of looking for more like musical entertainment, drama.
Oh, we do have a I suppose you could say an entertainment house, theater, the Malachi Theater. But they're mostly they have a more particular type of, it's, I suppose you could say, more a high arts theater. A lot of dancing performances happen there.
Maybe I'll check it out.
All
Sounds like fun. Scotty, you should go. We could learn how to dance.
Roro, if you remember, I came here for a reason.
I'm sorry, you broke up. What did you say?
I came here for a reason.
And that means you can't take 10 minutes to learn how to dance with me?
It only takes 10 minutes.
I don't enjoy dancing.
Got out of. Oh, that was another fucking fire.
Well, does anybody want to dance?
Not quite the dancing type, really.
Your fighting would say otherwise. Maybe the other crew want to. I'm going to go back and find Nicole and the others and see if they want to go learn how to dance.
Well, you knock yourself out.
Why would I do that? That'd be painful. If I wanted that, I'd ask Scotty.
Are you sure you shouldn't follow him and keep him company?
Sure, what?
Scotty to Gil is asking Gil if he's not sure if he should follow Roro and keep him company.
Oh, come on. It's just a new, large city where they knew we were coming. How much trouble could he get into?
How did they know we were coming?
I didn't get arrested in the last... How many cities? I haven't been arrested yet. I'll be fine. Goodbye.
I mean...
Okay then.
Unless you want to be my dancing partner.
I am not dancing with you, Roro.
Will you dance with Scotty?
I'm not dancing with anybody.
Oh,
I
maybe
think if
Morgan
you
will
guys
dance with
did.
you.
Looks over expectingly.
I got some business to take care of first, but maybe.
Oh, I got a maybe. Okay, here's the plan, Morgan. You do your thing. I'll go see if Nicole and the others want to do it, and we'll meet there.
Sounds like a plan.
Yay! Berber will go off to find the last bit of the crew.
Okay, so you're heading yourself back down to the Undercroft. We know where
Yep.
Morgrim's off to.
Uh-huh.
Scotty, where are you off to? Any destination in mind yet?
She has a destination in mind, she just doesn't know where it is.
Well, the Dro hasn't quite left yet.
Excuse me, perhaps you could help me figure out where I need to go?
Depends entirely of where you're wanting to go.
She'll study his weapon as if taking that as a point of convincing and taking a steady breath. Well, you see, the only reason I'm here was I was called to come, and I believe that might be...
Sam is the only one who's really breaking up. For me, I can't really hear anything she's saying.
Oh, that's because she's speaking really low.
I'm yelling.
You're not yelling. We can barely hear you.
I'm following a calling to... I believe someone had mentioned that it was possibly to find the Fire Lord.
Gun.
There's kind of a bit of knowing across the Zero's face. Who, by the way, as you've come out of the Undercroft, the goggles that were on his head casually have now been placed full on his face. So you can't quite see. You can't see his eyes behind the lenses there, but he seems to be able to see you just fine. But the eyebrows quirk in such a way that there's a recognition. I think we can probably arrange for you to have a meeting with the individual you seek, or at least a representative of his. The Fire Lord doesn't exactly speak, but it might take a little bit of time to arrange. if you could be around here, he'll kind of point across the way to an area in between the two giant trees. Just if you go that way, there's a large church. It's white marble, and you'll see two large glass flames as part of their part of their towers. If you come back in a couple of hours, I can probably have something arranged.
So, in a couple of hours, I should be at the church?
Yeah.
I appreciate you trying to get that arranged for me.
Well, if that's... I should go and get working on that then. You have a good afternoon.
She'll slowly, awkwardly begin to turn, like, almost as if she wasn't quite ready for that outcome, and start walking back the way they had come.
Well, you're kind of still at the, kind of like the elevator shaft, this tower.
Oh, well then, she will go walking. I don't know, she's a little taken off guard by this.
Yeah, as the Dro walks away, he's like, well, that was easy. Maybe we should have you speak for us more often.
I didn't get anything accomplished.
I mean, you got what you wanted.
Possibly.
Yeah, there was a little something in his face, wasn't there?
Wasn't quite sure what that was about.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should find something to do with ourselves for a bit, I suppose.
Well, are we looking to find a place here? Do we know if we're going to be staying in town for a few days? Should we find a place to sleep, or are we going to be out of here?
I don't think we know any of that, but perhaps those are questions we should bring up with those on the drift. Figure out if they would like a few nights off the ship.
So basically we're just following them right back down.
That's a little awkward, Gil.
Yeah. I don't know, Morgrim, you think you need a hand?
I mean, I think I got it under control, but if you've got nothing better to do, I don't mind the company.
Yeah, I'll come with you. You never know, you're off to this roost or nest or whatever the hell it is. You might need backup.
Scotty will shrug.
You headed back, or?
I guess I'll follow you guys.
She already appears to be becoming preoccupied with her own thoughts.
Alright, well, she's pliable right now. Let's drag her along.
Alright, for me.
So, heading through the... That's official speak, by the way. So, moving through the streets as directed, you will be you'll see the chapel quite easily as you're breaking the lines. Off to your left, you see the high walls of a very a large walled off area, which all but screams Magic Academy. It's about as magic, it just has the aesthetic of it. And then off to your right, on the other side of the other massive tree, is this large glass dome that kind of dominates an absurdly large plot of land. But there are pathways on either side of this small pond, or this rather large pond, that holds the chapel as an island, leading in past the gates and across a span which follows the last part of the river. Reaching the other side, you see two large gateways that seem to lead further into the mountain, and quite possibly one of the largest pirate ships you have ever seen beached at the side of this cliff face. On its this large open area. It's beached, but immediately to your eyes, Morgrim, it looked like it was once functional.
Pretty cool place.
Yes, indeed. But the path you were told leads you off to the west and around and up into the hills until you come across the gate, which has a large banner, a shield a shield with silver rimming that seems to have set in it a almost ruby-like in its sheen, emblazoned with a large, detailed raven. Moving past this main gate, you come to a row, a large square, for lack of a better term, that has plots of land where various crops are being grown, some of which don't seem like they would be indigenous to a mountainous area like this, but still yet they grow. In towards the center of this span of greenery lies a kind of a medium-sized house that doesn't look to have more than a couple of rooms, but it seems to be some sort of like greeting center.
Well, that sounds like greeting center. That sounds like the place I need to go.
Going there, there's it does have a look like on the front of to be a how you want to put like an information kiosk. Sitting behind, a pane of opened glass is, just a young man, just sitting there, just. Yes. Is there something I can do to help you, sir?
Yeah, I'm here looking for someone. Last I heard, this is where he's been for some time.
I can certainly put in a request to see if the individual's here or not. Do you have a name for me?
Yeah, he goes by the name Dagada Damshield.
Okay. I can put this through, and if you would just wait around for a few minutes, I can have it sent up and see if an individual by that name is here. Can I ask why you're looking for him? What relation you have to the individual?
Well, fuck. I don't remember. I didn't write that down. Is it like his dad or brother or somebody?
It was his father.
I'm a relation of his father's. Just pass on some information to him.
I see. All right. Well, you see him write down something and kind of put a slip under the desk. Just, might just be a couple minutes if you want to hang around.
Absolutely, thank you.
He'll nod. Just about 5 or 10 minutes later, you see him kind of get up and walk over to a counter and kind of pull a slip of paper and just yeah, if you can, there's a seating area around the other side of the building. It does look like he's in.
Okay.
He's attending to some business, but he can be with you shortly.
All right, thank you. No problem. I will have a seat and wait it out.
Yes, thank you. He'll kind of give you a wave to move around the building, and he'll return to his post. Walking around the center here, it's more like kind of like a small pavilion, if you would.
Yeah.
There's some general like benches and whatnot to sit around, and
Yeah.
it looks like a couple of larger tables around the edge of it in case. It looks like a place where people might do like a potluck or something, or just kind of like a large open meeting area.
Right.
And you're probably waiting another 10 or 15 minutes before a young individual comes. And of course I don't have any of this done there, but whatever. He's kind of got
don't want to fucking be here.
kind of medium brown hair, stands about 6 foot tall. He's got with a shield slung over his back, a sword at his side, wearing, leather, kind of dark brown leather armor, which you can see has in places looks to be reinforced with chainmail. He'll approach the group. Just, were you the ones who were looking for me?
Yeah. Name's Morgrim, and I sailed with your father.
Morgrim.
Hmm.
Morgrim. It seems like there's a kind of like it's just a look like he's trying to remember. Just. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you. Yeah, you've. Yeah, Dad used to talk about you, and so did Grandpa.
Well.
Okay, Morgrim. All right, Dagata. Clearly, you know that. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Well, I wish I was here under happier circumstances, but it seems that your our ship was attacked and set out to deliver notice. Everyone, family didn't get out.
Oh.
Here you go, and he'll hand him his note, letter, whatever.
Just kind of take it for me. Kind of read it. Just. Oh.
Yeah, I would have liked to have met under happier circumstances, duty and all that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I wish we could have met under different circumstances too. I mean, both of them told me stories about you. How you. I mean, you knew both of them since my granddad was young.
Yeah, it was a pleasure sailing with them.
Well, I guess you're about in it as much as I am then. I I guess a night and a couple of rounds is probably what's on call, isn't it?
What's that?
I guess a night at the tavern and a couple of rounds is what's called for at this point.
I mean, he'll turn to his kind of shrug.
I mean, I don't know what we've got going on later tonight, but hey, I'm no stranger to lifting a couple of cups for the dead, so.
He'll turn back to. Huh? Go ahead.
There's a slight, a slight shadow that passes over to Gada's face, but otherwise he'll just kind of nod.
He will turn back to Dagata and. All right, settled then. Did you have a specific establishment you'd like to meet at? I'm sure you've got some things to take care of today.
Yeah, I've got quite a bit of paperwork and whatnot to do here, but we can meet up a little later tonight. There's a couple of different places around here that's good, but I think, all things considered, we should probably do this at holidays. If we're going to be honoring the life of my dad, might as well do it at a ship bar. You can't miss it. You passed it on your way up here.
All right, is that the big pirate ship?
Yeah, it is.
All right, I'll see you there tonight. You have a time you thought you'd be squared up?
Dusk sounds about as good as any time.
All right, I'll see you then.
Yeah, I'll see you then, Morgan. As he'll kind of like wave and kind of start heading back off, with a bit less of the, I suppose you could say, energy of which he approached with.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, that. He didn't look all that surprised to me.
Well, I mean, the life of people who serve time happen.
Yeah. Well,
till dusk. Should we go find Roro and see what he's up to?
Yeah, might as well. I got nothing else to do, and she looks like she's still kind of out of it a little bit. So we might as well head back there and save her brain. In the meantime, Roro, you were headed back down towards the drift.
Did I successfully find them?
You successfully found them. It's easy enough for you to retrace your steps. And it looks like the crew is kind of filing off the boat. Some of the Alcaran sailors are kind of dispersing about going their own ways. Some of them with what looks to be their traveling packs. It looks like a couple of them are disembarking for a more permanent endeavor. And it looks like it seems you've got quite a few people up on the deck there, including Nicole and Tallow, who seem to be discussing something. Syl is off on the docks nearby, but not on the ship. Seems like she's looking over into the water. No sign of the kobold.
Okay, then Vera will first approach Tallow and Nicole.
It looks like they're discussing something that you didn't quite catch. As you approach, they shift their attention to you.
Hey, you guys know what would be fun?
Dare I even ask?
I mean, if you want to you want to ask it. Trust me.
Is Nicole just all right? I'll bite. What are you considering to be fun?
I think we all, including Silson down there, should go and do dance lessons. It would be so much fun, and they offer them here. What a coinky dink.
Dancing lessons. I wouldn't know about taking any lessons for that.
Are you already an excellent dancer?
No, I would say not, but it's not exactly my thing.
Yeah, I've been hearing that from everyone else too. Looks at Tallow.
I do not do much dancing myself, Roro.
Uh-huh. But let me just tell you, a pros to this is you and Silson, dancing.
We have danced together before, yes.
Uh-huh. But now you can know how to.
Do we even know how long we're going to be here? A night of dancing lessons isn't going to help us much.
I guess if you're... Well, some people might pick it up naturally. I have no idea.
Some people do have hidden talents, this is true.
Well,
but
I guess
maybe when we find out what it is we're actually doing here, maybe we'll have the time for it.
That makes sense. I guess if you guys aren't interested, I'm just gonna go ahead and check it out.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't be interested in seeing it, I just don't know if I'll participate, is all.
So I was kind of hoping to go over there and maybe learn a song from the local. It'd be kind of cool.
Well, that might be an interesting thing to do.
Should I be worried that the DM's rolling dice?
The DM
Yes.
sounds like they're rolling dice, but I'm rolling candy
Uh, wow.
because I want sugar. Go on.
I like you.
Well, if you guys find yourself interested, you know where to find me.
If you're learning how to dance, I'm kind of curious to see how this works out for you.
Was that Nicole or Tallow?
Nicole.
It's such a better joke if it was Tallow.
Sorry to disappoint.
Well, I think I'm going to, try something new. Music's already kind of been a thing, so why not do something else entertaining? Being a bard is hard.
And I wouldn't know anything about that. I tend to stick to the simpler things in life. Sailing and swords and the like.
Roro will kind of look around a little sarcastically. That's weird, I thought I heard Gil's voice for a moment there.
So, what are we doing until then? Or is this you dragging us there immediately?
Well, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm going to go there. So if you want to come now, that'd be great.
Yeah, we might as well. As we've
Then
been informed, we will be summoned when the timing is right.
Well, it won't be a sight. It will be a very good sight. Roro will walk chirpingly.
Well, what do we do with the little thing? Do we keep it here? Do we take it with us?
He might get us arrested.
That's so much irony right there. Roro wondering if someone's going to get them arrested.
I don't like your tone, sir.
I'm just saying, irony, thy name is.
I would understand a lot better if we've actually been arrested. But guess
You
what?
almost got people arrested.
Okay, almost don't count, honey.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if we can leave the thing here with us.
Oh, is he standing like right?
What was that?
Is he standing next to them or near them?
No, you don't know. You haven't seen the kobold.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh God.
He seems kind of shifty, so maybe we shouldn't just leave him alone. And Scotty's not here to babysit.
That is true.
I'll go check downstairs for him.
Alright, you might want to check the room he's been staying in.
Oh yeah, Scotty's old room, huh?
That it is.
As Roro walks to go towards that general section, maybe we should make a sign that says the dragon's lair and put it on that door. That would be funny.
Not a bad idea.
You go ahead and do that and see where it gets you.
I'm sure Mr. Kobold Meaty Man would love it. Scotty, on the other hand, would not.
Well, you take your life into your own hands.
He'll just give a thumbs up as he walks away.
Sure enough, you, getting down to the room which Scotty was in previously, you hear
kill him, I
Signs of
hear?
activities. Huh?
Oh, I was talking to Jess.
Ah, I see.
I'll hear what?
You hear signs of activity coming from within the room.
Roro will cautiously peek into the room first.
You cautiously make a stealth check. Oh yeah.
My rolls are complete shit, and I'm not happy about those.
Like a graceful ninja, you kind of creak the door open and open it. And just kind of stand there looking as you see the kobold, like with a large armful of papers, just kind of snap its head, kind of craning out. You didn't realize that this kobold had probably a longer neck than you would have imagined. Just,
Yes, meats?
Roro will put his hand on his sword.
What is it that the meats wants?
Hi, yeah. My name's Roro.
Roro meats.
No, just Roro. Roro Kelro. As in Roro your boat.
What is it the meats wants?
Well, maybe this isn't a good idea. I've been seeing if you want to learn how to dance with us.
Dance?
You know, dance to music.
Yes. Los dance. Secret dance. Forbidden dance of the feast. But no. 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 No.
Your queen will be there.
Will not dance the dance of meats. No. Never again.
Roro will kind of tilt his head a little bit. I do have a weird question while I'm here. Just kind of
Meats
curious.
wants to know.
We're gonna have to fix that, but yes. Okay. So, are you like Scotty's cousin?
seems
Twice
kind
removed?
of seems kind of lost in thought while it's looking at you. Kind of like a 1,000-yard stare. And you could swear for a moment it looks like he might be salivating a little bit before he kind of snaps up. Just, oh, guts. No. No, the queen is the queen. Grutz is Humbles maker. Just a craftsman.
Oh, so Scotty's a queen. Like queen. Got you. Okay. Bye. He will creak the door shut.
What? We are leaving ship, yes? You said you were thinking the queen. Welcome.
Well, I'll take you to her if you want.
Yes, meets take to the queen.
He'll just give an awkward thumbs up.
Creepy little shit.
He'll mutter to himself, I am so glad there is finally someone on the ship that people dislike more than me.
Making a lot of assumptions there, buddy.
Thanks.
So, you head up on deck. And after all this is he stuffs the papers that he'd gathered from the walls into this sack of his, and is kind of following you up. He's got that same scrap of wood that he's kind of clutched to him as you've moved up. And by the time you've kind of arrived back up on deck, you see your other companions have grouped up on the wharf just before the boat.
As in Gil, Morgram, Scotty.
Yeah, they seem to be there.
Oh, okay.
And there's this kind of happy trilling sound as the kobold kind of like and kind of drifts near Scotty, kind of looking up, just Gil just kind of looking down at him, not quite sure how to take the motion of this creature.
As Roro approaches, he's just gonna go, Scotty, I brought you a present.
I see that. She is resigned to the kobold.
So he kind of grins up at you.
She'll nod at him.
Oh.
Does this mean everybody's ready?
Well, unless we got anything to do, we've got an appointment to make around sundown. But I'm pretty sure everybody's invited.
What do you mean?
Drinking at that tavern.
I don't think we have much. Well, I don't have much longer before I'm supposed to be at that church.
Well, how long is that going to take? We're still in the middle of the day.
She'll shrug. I don't know. She'll go quiet.
It's okay to hear you, Sam.
Enunciate. Use your stage voice.
Well, the mic is cutting out, so I don't know if enunciating is what's gonna help with that.
Project.
Scotty will just shrug at Gil, seeming lost in thought.
Okay, I'll translate.
What?
Alright, what she said. She talked to the guy who met us here. Said she's looking to meet some guy. And he's going to, or represent. A meeting is being arranged, and it'll be done in. Can't even see the sun from down here. In a little bit here, and she's gonna talk with the guy. But apart from that, I don't know. We don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't even know what she's talking about, but it has to do with her visions. So
it's important to be present.
yeah,
Got you.
She's gonna be there. I just don't know what's going on. I don't think either one of us do. Unless she's not telling me something.
You have all the information that I have, Gil.
Just making sure. So, I'm gonna be hanging around making sure people don't get the wrong ideas about whatever's going on there. But aside from that, we're clear until evening.
So we're clear till the evening, which means we have plenty of time to do. And he'll wave his hands for someone to answer.
You will get a small series of chirping bird noises from Syl.
Do they sound approving?
I don't know. Check your insight. Man, it's been a while since you've been around Syl. Not quite sure what she means.
Silson is totally on board. Let's do this.
What is it that we're supposed to be doing again? Yes, we're going to go and watch Roro learn how to dance.
Well, it won't be fun if you just watch. Markham will join.
All right, fine.
Well, this is something I definitely have got to see.
I'm sure dwarves have hidden talents in dancing.
We have hidden talent all over. Maybe not dancing, but
Sure. I get the feeling that Morgrim's more talented with his hands than his feet.
The Markham's what?
More talented with his hands than his feet.
Yes, it is. Wait,
Wait a minute.
not canon.
So, I take it then you're off to the to the Malachi Dance Hall
Yes.
or the Malachi Theater. In before weird fan art. Yeah, sounds about right. So
Yes.
you make your way down to the central or the second tier of the city. Moving, the elevators take you up to the top floor where you get off and you go down a couple of the tiers as they kind of descend towards the center, even out for the greater part of the tier, and then descend again, where you pass by the central plaza, a grand affair that has yards and yards of kind of just very nicely kempt grasses, as well as it seems to have some flower beds and the like here. And in the center of this massive fountain that holds a pristine, enormous statue of this very lithe, androgynous, slightly elven creature with a bared chest, and seems to have like a sarong covering its lower extremities, reaching up above its head, in almost like as if it was holding a great bowl or a saucer. And then above it is this shining, glimmering orb that seems to be projecting in all directions around it. What you catch is an image from within this sphere of an elven man with black hair streaked with blue and violet, in the middle of some kind of performance, a song that being sung that catches Roro's attention, just apparently projected for this entire plaza's entertainment, is a man singing, The song is kind of energetic, but slightly lower. It's not... It's a song that is not directly happy in its presentation, but more of a longing, passionate song. As if someone was longing for a lover who wasn't quite there, but one who haunts their dreams.
Hmm.
Belle Jacques, Belle Jacques. That one?
No.
Oh.
Kind of absolutely not.
My bad.
But there are small crowds in this central plaza, watching the performance. Some having having picnics, others just standing there. You see children playing around. They're also in the plaza. You see a medium-walled gate, or gated set of buildings with a broad sign arching over it saying Mallcore. Another off the cut, you see there's a North Star Tavern, a very large ordeal, kind of directly to its other side. You see what looks to be a large foundry, with an emblazoned sign called Drakeport Steel. But your destination lies further along this path, and moving along, you will see a large concert hall with its signage bears no insignia, but in a fine elven script says Malachi Theater.
I think this is the spot. Oh, well.
Let's look. That's the place, all right.
I like it over here. It's so flashy.
The building itself is not as flashy, but though it's not ostentatious in its performance. The stone is more or less plain, but it does have kind of crown molding, as it were, with spiraling vines, as if ivy was etched into it to give it some decoration around its pillars and corners.
Okay, so classy.
It is a very classy place. It looks elegant. Moving.
I like it.
You hear, the low murmur from Tallow and Syl as they seem to be discussing something amongst themselves. And you've got the likes of Nicole just kind of looking around, taking in the sights, where Gil seems to be splitting his attention between Scotty and the kobold whose attention is solely on Scotty.
Scotty's feeling a little uncomfortable with that.
As you should.
Good. I mean...
It's reasonable. But it seems like you are not prevented from entering this building.
Well, Roro definitely just lead the way in.
Roro leads you in. And it seems like this is a small, but it's a decently sized reception room. Uh, you can hear the faint bits of music coming from beyond another wide set of double doors. And there seems to be some kind of attendant present there behind what looks to be the counter of a coat check. Can I help you? Tickets
Well-
are not being sold for performances until later this evening.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Ticket sales from for the tonight's performance will be sold later today.
Oh, okay. Every time I actually have to respond, it's like I just break up then. Roro kind of look at the others as if they were going to speak up and be like, oh, never mind. Well, I have something about dancing around here.
Yes, this place has extraordinary dancing performances.
How can we do that?
How can you do what?
Is it like a full class, or is it just like a jump in and swing around?
I believe you are mistaken, sir. This is not a place for lessons. This is a place to enrich yourselves in a deep culture. For an evening of entertainment and the appreciation of the mortal form.
Oh, I see. I see. Give me just a moment, and Roro step away towards the group.
Gil is leaning on one side of the door as the others have kind of moved off to the side, not to take up any room for anyone who might want to be entering.
Sorry.
It's probably Nico that'll chirp up first. Just, look on your face doesn't say that you've you found what you were looking for.
That what?
Yeah, I
You
did.
look like things haven't gone so well.
Oh, yeah. It's more like a cultural experience. Not really like dancing. Fine.
So it's more of a theater than
Yeah, sounds like
than
it.
a mead hall.
Sounds like it. I know you're very disappointed. I am too.
Yes, clearly. I don't know what kind of performances there are to be had here, but
Well, I guess if anyone's interested, we could stay, but it's not exactly what I had thought. So it's up to what you guys want to do now.
well, I don't know. Are you trying to say you want to take in some culture?
Well, I still might stay.
Well, depending on what happens. I mean, this is a nice, classy place.
Do you like classy places?
Not particularly, but some people might. Kind of gives a glance over. Doesn't know if she's paying attention or not, but
Scotty is paying as much attention as she feels comfortable to when there's a kobold staring at her.
Yeah, but
The keening is, it seems like there's an effort to be kept to a minimum. But every once in a while there's that, just a very pleased, low rumbling from him. It is worth noting that the book that he gave you is separate from the one that's strapped to his back.
That's good to know. I'm not sure if it actually is, but I guess.
Just in case you were curious.
Well, I already kind of figured it wouldn't be the one strapped to his back. But now that you've pointed it out, I have concerns.
Good. Anyway, what is the desire of those here? What's everyone up to?
I think Roro will stay and experience what he has to experience, accepting anybody who wants to stay with him.
Fine, Margaret will stay.
How long does Scotty have before she was supposed to be at the church?
Scotty does what?
Scotty's got a little bit of time, but probably not a whole lot.
Well, then she'll stay. I mean, if you're curious, she doesn't enjoy classy places that are fancy and in your face. But she does like a taste of culture, and that seems to be what the guy was promising, so she's interested.
Okay. Alright, so what are we just, for the most part right now, standing in line waiting for tickets? At the very least, it looks like we'd be at the head of it.
I could do that. Pick me. I could do it.
Alright, well, if that's what you want to be doing with your time, you can stand here and wait for... Do we know how much each of them costs?
I don't know. But I'll find out.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
Yeah. Roro, go back up. Yeah, how much are tickets?
Well, the tickets, for the performance of tonight, it will be 20 gold per seat.
20 gold per seat. I see.
And
I like
we would request that you respect our performers by dressing appropriately.
Roro will just stare, confused. I mean, I can tell the other group, but they do kind of.
This is more of a formal performance. That we would like you to show your respects and come in your best, if you possess it.
I don't know about them, but I totally get you. He'll wink.
Yes, towards the latter part of the day, you will be able to come and purchase your tickets. We have a strict dress code as for your safety and the safety of others. We will also require your arms to be left in our custody. As he clocks the very obvious, hey, we're adventurers style attire from all of you.
I should not be in that category.
You are totally within that category.
I disapprove.
You can disapprove all you want, but you just trekked your ass through a desert, and then we're on a boat.
We're not very fresh.
Roro will just kind of nod and start taking steps away. Like, awkwardly take steps away.
Yes, and
As he
this
gets back.
this individual is in a nice, like, formal robe with, kind of a filigree. It's purple on gold.
Is he cute?
He's fairly attractive. He's got kind of a caramel skin and a light, kind of a lighter brown hair pulled back into a bit of a ponytail that rests just about his shoulder blades. He's kind of got these warm honey colored eyes. Looks like looks like his origins were from a more warm region.
As Roro approaches together the rest of the group. Yeah, I think this is something we should do.
You say this is something that we should do?
Shouldn't do.
Shouldn't do. Well, what tipped you off about that? The fact that this guy looks like his nose is in the clouds looking at us?
Roro will glance back over, realizing how much of his family look exactly like that.
It's like Roro's like, no, I'm used to that look. In fact, it's the exact same look I give all you dirty peasants when I... Oh, wait.
He looks back over awkwardly. Yeah, that look.
Like,
Yeah,
wow.
I've never seen it before.
Directed at you.
Anywho, Gil. Rude. Yeah, they're like fancy and everything like that. So if we come back later, I'm sure they'll let me in. Oh, and it's 20 pieces of gold a seat.
20 gold a ticket? Jesus. Yeah, this is a rich people place.
Yeah,
And
I didn't think you would enjoy that. So,
I mean, speaking of rich people, we got a whole bag of shinies.
I guess we do. Oh, we can go shopping.
Well, I'm sure in a city this size, there's probably some good places to do that.
Gil just kind of looks over at Scotty.
She'll actually look interested.
Does Scotty want to go shopping with me?
Gil looks a little surprised by that, but...
Well... She'll glance down at her clothing.
Yeah, you've got that one piece and a transparent shawl over it.
I think perhaps attire that's not meant for sailing might be a good idea.
Roro was going to squeal and jump and give her a hug, but then bounce back very quickly.
Holy shit. I didn't think that... What even... And at Roro's squeal, you'll also hear...
Scotty will just, drop her head and pinch the bridge of her nose.
Sorry, it was
with
kind
a
of...
reaction like that, I'm not shopping with him.
There's a... I'm pretty sure she was meaning the kobold.
No, she was meaning Roro.
Oh.
Wow, I'll just
Wow.
jump off a bridge.
See, here I was giving you the benefit of the doubt on that one. I thought it was the kobold's reaction. But to be fair, there was a little bit of a lighter, more musical trilling, and Syl kind of clapping a little bit.
Okay, Scotty doesn't like any of you right now.
It's more like she was joining in with the... Before you hear this... If you would please take your revelry outside. We have people who are trying to rehearse. They cannot be bothered right now.
Sorry.
Scotty will shoot him a glare.
He'll just give you that what peasant kind of look.
I kind of want to burn this place down.
Don't you dare!
Hand kind of flicks towards her spell book.
Don't you dare either! I will turn you into a mouse.
Yeah, alright. Message received. Let's get out of here.
Oh my gosh, it's time for an outfit change, which means, guess what? Art time!
Woohoo!
Oh, God.
I
Big
can't
ol'
wait to make
city full
Morgan
of
look so cute.
big ol'-
Okay.
Can't wait to, like, take Morgan to a groomer shop. Not a people one, though.
What?
What?
Like, hi.
I
This is my Shih Tzu.
think he just low-key threatened your beard, Morgram.
Yeah, a little bit.
It wasn't low-key, sweetheart. Hi, this is my Shih Tzu. Can you help? Can you? You can help, right?
Oh, God. Hi, it needs more gold in it.
might be taking this ship down a weird turn.
It's called erotica haircutting. You'll get used to it.
Erotica. You know what? Never mind. I don't want to know.
I think you do.
Okay, so the group. It's about time for Scotty to go to her meeting, but what is everybody else going off to do?
I don't. We could
Well-
go see about loading those shinies and browsing markets. Have a whole bag full of shinies, don't we?
You do. You've got you got a good 9 gems or so that you pulled out of the intestinal tract of a great purple worm.
I think Roro will go with Scotty. If it has to do with her vision and the whole path that they're on, it'd probably be smarter to go with her.
So what? Do we do this, then go looking at rocks?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine by me.
Suits me fine.
I think we might just leave you to do what you're doing there. We'll probably be hanging around the square, see what is up with it. That orb in the center.
Thanks for coming. Sorry it was a total waste of time.
Yes, well, no harm in looking, right?
I suppose. I'll just check it out myself next time and go back with.
Well, you'll know where to find Silsan and I. They'll go and excuse themselves, start walking back down about to the central plaza. Nicole just, I've got nowhere to be. Might as well see what this church of yours is all about.
Scotty will nod towards him.
All right. Up and away, I guess. Moving towards, the temple, which seems to have on the bridge, on the kind of the arching bridge that leads to the center of this pond, is a plaque set in stone and gold that says, in honor of Saint Arcadia, the Temple of the Windswept Flame. Moving further in, you see this place is made out of great alabaster, which seems to have veins of gold filigree running all throughout it. Almost as if the desert sands were carried on a breeze. Each of the 4 central pillars to this building almost seem to be giant candles, ending in these crystal domes that look like flames frozen in time. Parting in these great oaken doors is a large hall that empties out into a central worshiping space that you can hear a melody playing from within it, faint, almost hauntingly beautiful, carried by a breeze that seems to gently shift around in these halls. There are several other branching paths from this central space, which the dome of the structure is a marvelous stained glass, and the light of the afternoon sun is pouring down in a multitude of colors and shapes. You can see vaguely humanoid figures within them. Featureless, but grand in their own designs. Some lighter, some darker. One's pictured to be young, or even not old, but mature. Arriving here, there's a blonde youth in long, pristine robes that approaches and looks at your entire assembled crews. Welcome to the temple. I hope your business here is not dire. As the slightly androgynous looking youth, though you would suspect perhaps male, but definitely gorgeous and fine in features, looks to be a half-elven, well, yeah, looks to be a half-elven boy. So, kind of hard to tell. But just, the look on their face, almost cherubim-like, is one of concern. Or hoping against concern.
Nothing dire. I was informed to come back here. I had set up a meeting.
Yes. Metroluna did say something about that. Yes. Miss, if... Do you use?
I'd like to actually hear what she has to say.
Oh, okay. That's fine. If you would come with me, the others can sit and enjoy. We can have some drinks, some water brought out to you if you'd like. All right. I guess we'll be out here waiting for you then. Kind of eyes the kid a little cross.
Scotty will glance back, a mixture of nerves and concern on her face.
Your companions, they don't need to be alarmed. Nothing. You're safe here.
Alright, so I'll go with you then.
Thank you. The child will lead you down one of the corridors.
Off the
There are pillars spaced here and there of tall, exquisitely crafted people. Male, female. They all have an air of some kind of spiritual significance, you would guess. But you can't quite be sure. Down at the end of this hall is a door that is carved with a symbol that you've seen in your dreams. And flanking either side are two carved lions that look like they have manes set ablaze and drifting wildly in the wind. It takes you a moment to kind of... It almost looks as if it is in motion, but that is certainly not possible for them being stone. But the child will kind of try the handle, open it slightly, and then kind of take a step back and kind of allow you the passage to enter.
She'll hesitate a moment, but then nod and enter the room.
The first thing you notice upon crossing the threshold is the difference in temperature. The halls outside were cool, and there was a faint breeze. But crossing the doorway, you feel a wave of heat. And the door kind of closed behind you. Not by any suspicious force, but more like you enter and the child closes the door behind. The room starts off almost completely dark. There is a very low light, and your eyes are trained to see in such conditions, but it's almost like there's, along the base of the chamber, a slight warm glow. And as you step further into the room, that kind of glow increases a little bit, so where you can at least see the base of... It's almost like light peeking out from the crease of a door. And it seems to kind of flow backwards along there, hits the corners, and then moves back to a central point where it filters up, and that light kind of spills over and forward a little bit and disappears slightly before a large blossom of flame ignites in this brazier, casting this light around the room where you kind of have to avert your eyes at the suddenness of its appearance. There's almost a wave of pressure that hits you that kind of sends you shifting slightly back on your foot. But the heat, while very much present and continues to raise the temperature in the room, it's not harmful. Barely even uncomfortable, but you can feel that pulse, that flush across your body, almost in the same way as when you were invoking that strange power. But just as an ambient temperature. And a shadow dances within the center of the brazier, before the flames seem to kind of peel away in the center, and a figure steps out, begins to emerge, which was small to your eyes, or maybe just far away, and it grows as it approaches, and steps out is this tanned individual with with blonde hair kind of passed down behind its back, very sharp eyes looking affixed to you, and behind him this large spread of wings that cascade down his back, adorned in gold and white gold. The chest is mostly bare, if not for the upper part of its torso. Has sashes of red with black engraved runes sewn into it. A half armor almost, kind of covering its midsection of darkened iron and red runes. The wings, the feathers seem to glow like embers as it fixes you with its glare, and you can see the slitted eyes. The creature seems born half of heaven and half of hell, as finally emerging from it, you can see the swish of a rather long, prehensile-looking tail behind it, as the flames kind of curtain back, as it stands a bit taller than you. It certainly has this presence about him. You were the one my master sought for? Or the one who is seeking my master?
I would say that I was seeking.
And what do you seek of the Fire Lord?
That is a good question. I had, in light of losing so much, I had what my friend would describe to me as called out, and in return I was led by visions to come here.
What do you hope to seek? What do you hope to find?
If I could, I think I was calling out for a master for a purpose, for a reason.
And one with a body so cold seeks out the flame?
Does my bloodline matter much?
It's a curious thing to see someone who looks like they would wither in the presence. He just kind of reaches a hand kind of towards the side of your face, and you feel that intense. But it's almost as if this man was holding a torch near your face. It's a bit more intense than the ambient heat of the room, and you can feel that sweat starting to kind of pull at your brow. Many would shy away from fire at the best of times, but those from your particular climate seem less suited. What draws you?
There's a sense of security in seeing the dawn break, isn't there? Especially after timeless moments in blackness. That sense of security, the sense of having a purpose to go towards something.
Sounds like you seek the sun.
Perhaps at one point I did. And perhaps that would have been true if it wasn't for the fact that on the morning of my first vision of when I was called, I watched the sunrise and it was different. The heat was far more consuming. It filled something in me that was darkening and decaying.
And what filth was consuming your heart?
The destruction of everything I ever knew. And to be found with seemingly one choice to be a part of something I didn't know the smidgen about. I just wanted something to bring passion back, purpose, a desire to even live longer.
It looks like the figure is moving to say something before there's another thrum from within the brazier. Is there a sense of irony, perhaps, that you seek out that which tore everything away from you?
Perhaps if you want to see it on a smaller scale, but in my mind what tore everything away from me was that endless darkness. There's something, I would call it cold, but it's beyond that, it's a nothingness. And that is what caused every ounce of my pain.
The figure that had been addressing you has moved off towards the side, and from within the heart of the flames is another figure, though it does not seem to be moving towards or away. His voice seems to be echoing from someplace elsewhere. Are you beholden to your past? What value does it have to you?
I don't know if it has much of a value, more than I suppose it's what led me to meet people that mattered. People that I would fight for. People that I'd like to keep safe.
And you feel that you can find that in that which culls, that which cleanses, that which destroys.
It's the only certainty I've had.
In legends past, mine was the gift that had doomed others, but given life to many more. Do you think you're able to shoulder the responsibility of such a gift?
I can't speak confidently, but does it matter at all that I have desire to?
What we do in this world is largely about intent. That same flame which gives life takes it, burns away that which is unnecessary to make room for new growth. Do you think you could take from others what needs to be, to make the decisions to allow others to flourish?
If it keeps another altar from happening, if it keeps the drift on the seas, if it keeps the haughty from being murdered,
So you seek power to protect someone abroad.
not everybody I want to protect is abroad. Not everybody I want to protect I even know.
And what if Alton needed to be burned? What if the drift should be sunk? Could you shoulder that responsibility?
If the reasons were for sure and not from a tyrant,
You had another desire, one I would suspect is buried between your, we're not going to say a facade of altruism, but there's something deeper in there that you desire, isn't there?
I suppose that after the danger I've seen, it's been buried under panic. I can't say that I'm not considering revenge.
Yes, vengeance is quite the driving force, isn't it? But a child waving a torch in the darkness only seeks to endanger those around them. One would have to learn how to wield it appropriately, as with any tool.
One would have to have a master to teach them.
And is that what's lurking at the heart?
A pained expression will cross over Scotty's face. I've been
been lost for a long time.
Yes, a wayward child. I suppose it would be irresponsible to not teach them not to burn their houses down. Well, I do believe this would be interesting to see. Should your heart and mind be pure enough as your intentions have been claimed to be? Do realize that walking this path is not a simple one.
Been walking a complicated path for a while. I can't say that it becoming more complicated deters me at all.
You'll have to make difficult decisions, ones that others may not understand. Do you have the fortitude required to endure their slings and arrows, their barbs and jabs, and remain dedicated of purpose?
I know well the slurs of others. I mean, it is a white dragon's bloodline that I have.
And all the stares and comments you must have endured since then. Not that you remember any of them, I'm sure.
No.
The flames start to grow low, though the heat in the room does not dissipate. Dawn rises tonight at its apex. Seek out the garden high in the mountains. We'll see if you can endure the fire.
And is this something you're requesting me to do alone?
The invitation is singular.
Then I will find myself there.
Make sure you are present at the height of the evening. You'll know it by the position of the moon.
I'll be there.
I should hope so. I do hate being stood up. The flyers will close out, leaving you in a room of darkness, save for one sliver of light coming in from behind you as the door slowly creaks open. And we will hold it there for now.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger! So, that was fun. And, yeah, we will be back to pick up this thread.
always know where to cut it off, don't you, Gowan?
What? What? But, yeah, we'll be back. Oh, get that. Get those grubby sausages out my face. But, yeah, we will pick up, I'm debating whether or not I want to do this in next week or in 2 weeks. I see a hand up.
You made us wait 2 weeks plus some just to have this. 3 weeks? Was it 3 weeks of Bromstock?
It's because you were in a
3
dungeon.
weeks!
And then you canceled.
You are acting like you hated playing in Bramstock.
It's not that I hate playing Bramstock, it's that Scotty is bae.
It's a convincing argument. Yes, Doge, I know you liked Bramstock.
Whatever you want to choose, I will be there to play.
All right. At the very least, we'll carry this on next week. And then we'll see where we go from there. I'm still debating how I want to do, because I do like Bramstock and I want to do it more, but I also like Understudies and, you know, it's the balance there. We'll figure it out. But yes, next Monday we will be having Understudies continue. And maybe have a couple of fun things planned out. Depending on who wants to do what and how much I want to inject a bit of action into the game here. We'll see. Lots of stuff to do. But we will be back again tomorrow at some point. TBD, I guess, for how early.
Yeah, that's up in the air.
That's up in the air. So we might have surprise morning-ish stream, depending on medical things that happen. Though, I am dedicated to getting onto my normal Tuesday schedule, at least.
I'm sure.
Huh?
Huh?
I am about to shove all kinds of unusual objects inside of your body. No points as to guess what and where. But, yeah, tomorrow, for sure, we will be continuing along with Evil Within, because... may or may not have a guest star. Because he may or may not be crucified. We don't know. But, yes, definitely Evil Within tomorrow. D&D, maybe. I don't know. Do we have a plan if it happens?
It'll more than likely be Masters.
Woo!
Just because if it does happen, I don't expect us to have a long game slot. And Masters is in an area where I'd like to just casually get through some stuff.
Okay.
So roleplay section?
Yes, very much roleplay.
You're gonna make me roleplay half forcibly not flirt towards an island?
Yeah, it's your choice. I'm not forcing you to do anything.
It's not canon.
It is canon.
Yep. Yeah. The Fluffy has spoken. It's canon.
Fluffy.
Patrick, we got problems.
Don't listen to him. He's just salty. But, yeah. Cool times. So maybe Masters, definitely Vidya Games. And, yeah. Yep, everybody, you're outvoted. It's canon.
No.
Yeah. You did this. You did this yourself.
I did nothing.
Yeah. Likely story. Okay, so, yeah, we will see you all tomorrow at some point. Y'all take care now, you hear?
Here.